Good evening, everyone. All right, I'm pretty cooked. I'm tired, but I'll get live here. It's pretty interesting what's happening in order flow, and we'll see what we can do here. Wait, if the title doesn't show up if I put it like that. All right. Yeah, order flow is looking kind of interesting. So the last public live stream I did was taking a long down here. Got a nice reaction. This price ranged here, been ranging with bullish order flow. It's been an uptrend, not a range. I was actually looking to add to my longs here because we had a really big local bullish divergence forming. I was just looking for these lows to get tagged, and I was going to add locally to a setup there, but got a front run on that. But I'll give my thoughts on order flow here in a minute. Yeah, so I've just been observing. It's just in the members Discord, just observing throughout the day that we still just have local bullish absorption forming after that initial position. Throughout this range, still forming. Then I was even just looking to add to my long here, taking this low. But we had big bullish divergences forming on that little New York Open dump this morning. But anyways, we ended up getting a slight front run on that low. Just this low here. Just looking for that to get taken. But anyways, let's get over to order flow. Let me move this over to this side. Anyway, so a lot of risk coming in here. We have longs opening, shorts opening aggressively. See, open interest is just ramping. It's been ramping through this move. But lots of aggressive shorts opening with limit longs filling, absorbing some of that selling pressure. This is kind of interesting up here. Have a bunch of longs opening aggressively and a bunch of shorts. More shorts, more shorts. Some more longs up here. Some of these longs closing aggressively. You could see some volatility here. Like we're coming up to some major highs. Run some of the longs and squeeze out the shorts. The reason I'm leaning towards a continued short squeeze is just the overall context in this uptrend is still quite bullish with a lot of shorts opening into this uptrend. Still yet to be squeezed out, so obviously price can go either way. But this is pretty interesting order flow. Lots of participation here from aggressive traders. Both sides. I'd been pointing out this BTC USD perp pairing on, I guess I pointed it out on the live stream a couple days ago down here because this is where some of those shorts were opening aggressively. So there's a trader here, I'm assuming it's the same trader, started opening some very big short positions. See the same size, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. Open interest increasing. And then right at the lows, more, 11 million, 13 million, 10 million, 14 million. There's more in here somewhere. I think he's about 100 million short, and he added a little bit more up here. I'm assuming it's the same trader. There's not a lot of, it doesn't look like there's a lot of, it has kind of the same makeup to it. But anyways, this trader's still in these shorts, probably about 100 million. And it's like the only one trading here. So that could be a nasty outcome for him if we squeeze up higher here. Of course, timing the actual moment of a short squeeze can be kind of tough, but it looks reasonable to think we're setting one up here. See a big decrease in open interest. Should see some longs chasing in as well. Could get interesting. We'll keep an eye on that, see what that trader does. I've been interested to see when he does or does not close that position. But ultimately, I explained in the last live stream, this setup, although I didn't particularly love it, I was willing to take it. I guess a trade doesn't need you to like it to work, because it just, like I said during that live stream, I would feel worse if we just rally off this really clean, just take these lows right into a perfect fib retracement, some really bullish Elliott wave ideas towards all-time highs. I'd feel way worse if we just start rallying off of this and I just didn't take that long. Invalidation's quite easy here, and just makes sense to take that position. Whether or not I think it's going to work, the chart doesn't really care what I think. But anyways, the targets for here, it's kind of like, oh, I was going to make a joke here. I was down 50% on my Blowfin comp account. Thank you, Trump. But yeah, I'll be doing a lot better if this keeps squeezing up. It'll be interesting to see what happens at these highs. Some major fibs aligned with these highs. I mean, obviously it'd be crazy and not impossible that we just blow through all these highs, but you suspect to get some volatility and reactions into these highs, but we'll see. And get rid of these alert lines. Yeah, Kaboom says, I wanted a breakout. If we get dead PA, I'll blame you. There is a bit of a live stream curse. You know, in a way, it's kind of like it's like a self-fulfilling curse, because when a chart looks really interesting, when everyone's super interested in it, whether it's going to be a breakout or a breakdown or a big level approaching, I mean, there's a reason that price likes to like trap traders with front runs and stuff. Kind of, if you get live every time something interesting looks like it's about to happen, it's not surprising that it oftentimes doesn't. But what could be interesting about this, I mean, if price just keeps pushing higher, there's a lot of sideline traders and a lot of traders willing to aggressively short this for now. So, you know, if we just keep grinding higher, stopping out shorts and catching more aggressive shorts, could be interesting. I'm not claiming that price is just going to go straight up in every 5-minute candle, by the way, but if we do get a big short squeeze here, it'd be interesting to be live during it. But yeah, big bullish divergences between these lows in this uptrend, but obviously there's been massive bullish absorption throughout this whole range, and if a squeeze comes, it wouldn't be so hard to imagine us squeezing up aggressively, because my sense is there's a lot of people sidelined on Bitcoin as well in this range and might be chasing a move up. Keeping an eye on Doge locally here as well. Been kind of watching some of this local PA, doing a little bit of scalping. Little breakout retest. It's in a nice little uptrend, but it broke that down. Came and tagged some local lows this morning into, there's a little, let's take a quick look at it. I actually want to set alerts here and here. Anyways, little local GP reaction here. We had a little low time frame channel, taking that local low to a high time frame retest. Little downtrend formed here. Some little GP bounces on the 1 minute time frame. Coming down and running these lows would still look kind of interesting. Zoom out here. Just in this context, I mean, my thought process is essentially there are some really bullish ideas here. I mentioned that X-Force global count he had with the potential of a new low coming in here towards all-time highs. We have bullish divergences forming on in this range, high time frames, locally, ramp and open interest. We're kind of seeing all of the bullish price action we'd want to see locally. But certainly for this long setup, for me, it's just hold and see what happens. I mean, there's no reason to close it when you're getting this kind of order flow in an uptrend. So it doesn't mean it's going to work, but if you're not going to hold this with that for the big bullish idea, then why even take the trade, I guess? Because what else are you going to hold it through? Russia says, alert, wake me up and no sleep, tired and trade losing. Sorry to hear that. It's a little precarious to be taking longs up here. I mean, certainly if you're just scalping, trading low time frame, small size, local invalidation, there's certainly an uptrend there. You know, there's still bullish divergences intact here. I want to get back into the, I want to get into the 1 minute time frames here for the order flow, just to break up some of the positions a little bit. Little local uptrend here getting tested. Yeah, I still think running these local lows would look interesting for a setup. I have to TP into this for an ad. Ratchet says, I like forced Fibonacci count, but make me lose money all the time. Well, if you're trading his X-Forces count here, I'm pretty sure it's playing out pretty clean. It's possible. I'm not aware of all his counts, by the way. I know he has different variations of possible counts, but I think in this context, everything's pretty clean. You could potentially have misread the count as well because they can be kind of confusing. But yeah, still, so we had some aggressive longs opening up here, some aggressive closing, big shorts. It's pretty interesting. I know we're on a live stream, so maybe nothing will happen, but the other possibility is we just keep chopping in a choppy uptrend. Be fun to get a big squeeze though. I mentioned it earlier, but this guy's still in his short. As far as this order flow goes, I mean, I mentioned this down at the lows on the last public live stream, but this looks like bottomy CBD, like just really, really aggressive selling right at the major low, huge shorts opening, and then price just V-shape recovers. So anyways, so far that's all playing out. Maybe a little bit of an interesting thing to watch out for will be if or when the short gets squeezed out. For all we know, he just holds and it ends up playing out for him, but certainly some pressure getting put on it. Someone's asking what kind of market impact would the 100 million guy closing have? It just depends. I mean, it might create more of a wick. Like we actually saw that on this pairing relative to other charts. I'm not saying it was the same trader, but it might have been. We had a big wick of a 50 million long closing followed immediately by a short. And just because that's a lot for this pairing, like 50 million, you know, you see all these other candles, 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 2 million, 4 million. It's a big position followed by another big short. My guess is it's the same trader getting stopped out of a long and flipping short, but it may not be. But because this was such a big short to have, or long to get stopped out, created a much bigger wick on this chart than other charts. So anyways, if he just market closed 100 million on this all at once on this chart, I would suspect it would have a decent impact on price, but it's hard to tell, right? Because if there's a limit, I mean, if there's somebody saying, there's a lot of limit sell orders sitting there, then it won't have much of an impact. I would have actually thought some of these market shorts he opened would have had more of an impact than they did as well. Those are some big. big position, so it's hard to say. You can have price move a lot on a little bit of volume, and you can have price move a little bit on a lot of volume. One thing that can happen here, like we could see some crazy stuff, right? We could see a squeeze up, like massive shorts getting stopped out, lots of longs opening, a lot of volatility. Might make sense to take some profits on longs, and then we can just see everything evolve really quickly. Like, oh, this starts to look really bearish, but then an hour later it starts to look really bullish again. You know, if we go back to something to remember, I suppose, is, you know, we come back here on the charts on Bitcoin, is you know, this is what an uptrend can look like. Like, there's a lot of volatility in here. Up here, aggressive longs open, get run out really quickly, price goes higher, bunch of longs on the breakout, everything gets run out, trapped. So that's something to just consider here, is we can go from this to this to this. Someone asking, is this pair better than this pair for order flow? I wouldn't say, it's not about what's better, it's just the volume's been really low on this pair. Like, this is a really significant position on this pairing, but you don't really see that every day. Whereas the USDT pair's been a little bit more actionable, I guess, or it's felt that way. But anyways, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens here. Here's another 8 million closing. So, I mean, what I'm seeing here, again, it's not to say that price is can or can't do something, but like we're seeing some of these aggressive longs open, followed by some aggressive shorting. We had some aggressive longs open up here as well. Shorts, a lot of short stop downs actually, but aggressive shorting, some aggressive longs, but aggressive closing. So it's like we're getting this choppy uptrend. There's actually kind of a lot happening here. See what happens if we can take some of these lows maybe. But overall, the context here is, to my eye, is still bullish. And it'd be interesting to run some local lows. Litecoin kind of selling the news right now. Any long setups planned for them? That was a question. Yeah, Litecoin. It's kind of funny. I think during a members live stream, someone asked me if I'd be interested in shorting this. I wasn't. It was a little earlier though. I think it was around here. Actually, quite a nice reaction off that, coming, you know, into a choppy downtrend. So it's down 6%, 7, 10% from the highs. 8% from the retest. It's testing a uptrend right now. Been relatively weak against Bitcoin locally. I mean, something to consider is if Bitcoin does have a big short squeeze, not saying it. Already this is kind of starting to look like a little bit of consolidation. It's still a downtrend, but it could start to have this look to it. Lots of levels lower, obviously. It seems, you know, it seems a little bit silly for me not to be looking for any longs, even just trying anything off this trend line. Probably, yeah, there's certainly setups lower if we break this down. Probably something to be done here. I'm actually just going to set an alert on the upper region and lower region of this range. There's also some ideas of coming back down towards the point of control. Which is actually different on this chart than the point of control is actually up here. Was that up here yesterday? So this was actually a clean point of control bounce. We're actually at the point of control here as well. It's a little bit of confluence. It's not irrelevant. I'm ultimately looking for much higher on Litecoin in the higher time frames. I mean, you kind of have like two scenarios to play. Like the way I would look at trying anything here is, let me just go to the 15-minute chart. Well, definitely some nicer levels to the downside. It's just a matter of, it's kind of a similar idea to the Bitcoin setup, right? It's like in a really bullish scenario, you just kind of hold all this up and you just start moving towards new highs. And so the question is, does it make any sense to put any risk on here? For the really bullish scenario, just cut if the uptrend breaks down, the point of control breaks down, and just try stuff lower. We'll see anyways. Yeah, so there's like when you say the sweep of the low at 119 looks good. Obviously, the idea here for any kind of longs here would probably be coinciding with the really bullish ideas on Bitcoin. And it would just be if this strong uptrend holds, then it looks really bullish and just kind of nice invalidation around this trending structure. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to take a long here. You could just look for some setups locally here depending on what happens. If we just reject here and just do that, then probably save yourself the trouble. Do this. Anyways, I just keep an eye on things locally here. Did we live stream curse this price action? We started 30 minutes ago. Uh-oh. We might have summoned the sideways price action. And then I end the live stream. That happens. It is kind of funny. Like just watching all of this, it's like, ooh, it looks like a short squeeze is coming, going up. Start the live stream. Jonathan's asking, have you ever been experimenting with breakout props? Saw you asking about it the other day. I have not, but I talked to Maine and chatted with him a bit about it. He asked if I'd be interested in looking at partnering with them, and so we had a conversation. It sounds interesting. Sounds like they're, I mean, from everyone I've talked to, no one's really had anything too bad to say about it. I mean, they've all actually had really good things to say about it. Sounds like they're doing something positive in this space, so I'm going to take a look at it. Tony says, Lucky, WTF is going on. Is it normal to see this kind of fucked up PA? What are you referring to? What, just Bitcoin here? Like today or this? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it's exactly what I expected, but kind of close. It's or I guess what I expected in this scenario. even yesterday. Like I said this yesterday in the Discord for like the bullish scenario. I said, please, no more ranging. And I drew that out here on the chart. Just this idea of, so it's kind of like, it's not like you are predicting exactly what would happen, but if this is going to get kind of bullish and start grinding into an uptrend, you know, this is the kind of thing you'd see, right? Like you'd see this, you'd see price break back above, start recovering, grinding up higher, trending, grinding. You'd see bullish order flow. I even tried to long this, but got a little front run. So I'd just say, I wouldn't really consider this fucked up PA, but oh yeah. So your question was, is it normal to see this kind of fucked up PA? And then you said dips hard aggressively and pumping aggressively. Beginner like me having a hard time to catch every move, but I'm catching some. Well, definitely, you're never going to catch every move. You might catch every move for a little bit of time, but this, as far as this goes, this would be normal in the sense that it would be the exact thesis of the trade, right? Like if you're taking this trade, this is what you're expecting to see if it's going to work. That's why you're taking it. You understand that it just might not work, but if it's going to work, it's probably just going to look something like this with really bullish order flow, and that's what we're seeing. And so even earlier today, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not predicting everything perfectly or anything, but like I said here, like in some of the bullish scenarios, like this is just kind of this, like we're just kind of here. So, you know what? I think this is the best way to put it. If you're trying to long like a major low or a sweep, like is this fucked up PA or is this kind of common PA? Like this, dump aggressively, pump aggressively, dump aggressively, pump aggressively, dump aggressively. Like that's kind of how bottoms form, right? So it's not really, you know, it's not really fucked up. It's kind of normal. That's kind of what I know you said you're a beginner trader, and I would say, you know, it's gonna be, it takes a long time to learn this stuff, and you're gonna you're gonna struggle as a beginner, and you should really be careful with the kind of money that you're putting at risk. But this is kind of normal, right? It's not exactly it's not normal in the context of what's been happening in this range, but it's normal for what happens when a low comes in. You probably just go to any low on the chart that looks significant, and it's what price action looks like, kind of, right? But the problem is, you know, price spends a lot of time ranging. So you have a range here, right? And then it's ranging and it dips and then it goes straight up. And the same can happen to the highs, right? Like the high comes in and then it goes straight down after maybe a little bit of ranging. And you know, there's something to think about, like when you think about like a swing position, let's say, like how much time are you going to be spending? How much time are you going to be spending sitting in your position? Like say you take a long, kind of anywhere here, and you're swing long, you're targeting, you know, 300% away. Even as price starts trending, like there's basically a very small fraction of the time on the chart, like a few days, a week out of months, where the majority of the move happens. Because price is typically ranging, and even when it's kind of grinding towards an impulse, like this isn't insignificant, but like a lot of the move is going to come all at once, and that's what can be kind of tricky about sitting in a swing trade, because you're kind of just sitting and waiting, and it's like oh, this is, you know, screw this, I'm out of this, and then this happens, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get on the next pullback, and the move just comes all at once. And then you go back to ranging, and the move comes all at once, and the move goes up or down. See a lot of ranging. So like if you just forget about the targets, and you just think about it in time, like if you're long down here in Doge and you want to, I mean, let's just say you're targeting up to these highs, but like you're long for 135 days or 130 days, but the move happens over the course of 5 days. So if there's 5 of the days, 135 of the days that you're long, you're not catching the move. And even if you long this sweep, you're still just sitting here for 2 weeks. Well, nothing happens. You say, fuck this, and then all of a sudden the move happens over the course of 3 days. Just something to think about, because time can kind of just put you out of a position. It's like, even if your entry's not retested, even if price action's still kind of not doing anything, it's like, I'm out. So anyways, that said, that's kind of like, this is like a lot of people just like lowers coming, we're in a downtrend, and then this runs a lot of lows, traps some shorts, and then we just V-shape recover, and a lot of people are now in a position. I'm not saying what's going to happen, by the way. I'm just saying this is what can happen in these situations. Just looking at order flow, I think a lot of people are sidelined, but the people who are sidelined or just got run out on this wick or flipped really bearish here, now this starts happening and they're like, oh, of course, whatever, we're going lower. Maybe they start shorting. It doesn't matter, they're sidelined. And now this starts happening and they're like, oh shit, I'm going to get back in on the next pullback. And that's how, you know, these moves end up forming. They inevitably take along here and we get something like that, and then price carries on. V-shaped recoveries are really bullish, or V-shaped rejections are really bearish, but just because they just sideline everyone. It's like they take out so many positions out of a range, like a bunch of stuff accumulates, is all resting stops, price comes down, takes everybody out, and then just runs away without them. Whether they're sleeping or they don't have enough time to react, or they're waiting for some consolidation or something, but price is just moving and moving and moving and moving, and then they end up getting emotional up here and chopped up, and price just retraces anyways. Just get rid of all those squiggles. How can you, someone says, how can you post an entry and not show it gets stopped out or why it did? I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, why a position gets stopped out is because price hit your stop loss. Why price hit your stop loss? Well, because price went down and hit it, but you don't really know why. Somebody sold and you were long, or somebody bought and you were short. I'm tentatively watching all these highs. Dirk says, where do you intend to take partial profits on the Bitcoin long? I took it with you and I'm up a good snack. Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of am open to just holding it towards all-time highs here. And I might consider taking a hedge. But, I mean, all these highs need to be watched, but like, probably looking for an opportunity to add back as well. I would say that for me, this is kind of confusing because the only reason I'm in this long is for the bullish scenario towards all-time highs. Like, it's the primary reason I'm in it. So I kind of want to trade it towards all-time highs because that's the whole thesis of the trade. But there's lots of scenarios where we get deep retracements, and there's other scenarios that, you know, this is always possible. So can never go wrong with just watching all these major highs and fibs. This is probably an important level. If we just blast through it, then if I see something really bearish in order flow, then I'll probably consider taking some profits. Yeah, Jonathan says it's interesting. The vast majority of huge liquidation candles happen to the downside rather than the upside. Yeah, I mean, I would say that generally speaking, people are bullish on crypto. Like, I like to say that everyone who trades Bitcoin is a bull. They just disagree on the time frame. You know, like for a long time, for many years, generally speaking, everybody's looking for higher. They're just arguing over if we see lower first. And so I think it makes sense. You know, typically people aren't trading an asset to primarily be leveraged short. There might become times where more people are leveraged short than they are long, or vice versa, or more certain types of traders. I think that kind of makes sense. And Tony says, today's V-shaped top formation and then go dips, go higher. How did you catch the bottom? Well, you go check my last live stream. I was actually live when I took the trade, so you can see the first live stream ended like the stream crashed, so there's 2 live streams, but I was live here, and you can see how I took that trade. I'm being asked, can I elaborate? Gerard, I don't recognize you. Nice to see you in the chat. Can you elaborate on seeing something bearish in order flow? The opposite of seeing something bullish. This kind of bullish. Maybe this kind of bearish a little bit. Didn't get any play, but on this time frame, not really. This kind of bearish. Lower highs. Higher highs. Sell off. Lots of trap longs. Oh no, the curse. Kind of interesting though. 15.3 million negative delta here. 3 million. Some aggressive shorts opening here. These are 1 minute candles. More bullish divergences. Heavy selling into this uptrend. Someone trying to push price higher. Let's squeeze higher. Hey, I hear the lobster farming business is good. I'm not trading Palantir. Took the lows, big volume. Perfect trend line touch. Probably ran some stop losses there. Look at that, it's a lucky setup. Set your limit order right there, you fill the bottom. All right. Yeah, we can just, Depeche is saying just join the LATF with his referral link. If you refer someone to the LATF, you get 20% off your membership for every person you refer indefinitely. So, something to think about. You should consider joining, Gerard. Are stocks easier to trade than crypto? No, I mean, nothing's easy to trade. Everything's hard. It's all kind of the same too. It's kind of hard to call. It's like, it's trading hard. It's hard. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you have to know, and what's hard if you're like a new trader, you'll never, you have such a low chance of learning all the things you need to learn before you lose all your money. That's what makes it so hard. And the act of pursuing learning those things makes losing your money, the odds of it super high. So it's like, and it actually makes learning harder. Like the things you naturally want to do on your pursuit of trading are all designed to make you fail and make it harder to learn anything. It's like there's nothing. Yeah. So yeah, I think trading just generally is difficult because it's so hard to get over the hump of learning all the things you need to learn. You could spend years and just never learn the things, never even come across the things you need to learn. That's not true. Jonathan says LMAO, lucky, we're here to encourage traders. I'm not. I mean, I think generally speaking, most people should not pursue trading. Like the vast majority of people pursuing trading, I think it would be better off. But if you're going to pursue it, I mean, I'm assuming the majority of people here want to pursue trading, intend on pursuing trading, and probably have had enough experiences to know that it's very difficult, and that, but it's kind of like if you're crazy enough to pursue it, then yeah, I want you to succeed. But I think generally, if I was in a room of 200 random people, there's 202 viewers in here, and they all said, should I become a trader? I would say, no, I wouldn't. But if they still want to become a trader after they get that advice, then maybe they should. Trading is one of those things that if you're gonna make it as a trader, but the thing that stops you from doing it is somebody discouraging you to become one, you probably were never gonna make it. Like, that's gonna be the least of the hurdles that you have to overcome. When normies ask what I do for a living, I say I'm a dancer. Testing the highs again. Some shorts closing here aggressively, 15.7 million into this 1 minute candle, followed by longs closing aggressively, 13.7 million, and then longs opening again aggressively, 12.5 million. So like this is like people are playing something here. I mean, like, let's just think about this for a second. Like, what has to be going through, assuming that this is some of the same trader? It doesn't have to be. I mean, it could just be a coincidence, but like, you have these really aggressive shorts opening, and then we have longs just dumping out at market here, 13.7 million, like on this 1 minute candle, and then opening really aggressively again, 12.5 million. To me, this speaks to some very overexposed risk here, because it's like you're basically on the 1 minute chart with multi-million-dollar positions, kind of like, oh yeah, oh shit, close this, oh, open, oh shit, and now this guy's gonna be underwater again. We're in like 0.05% price action. So like, the thought obviously is that, oh, we're about to go straight up. Like, that's the thesis of that trade, right? The thesis is like, this is about to go like this, but they're so, like, they can't even hold the trade through this 0.05%. It might not be the same trader, but this trader closes long here really aggressively, and then it just opens back up right here. You'd have to ask Gerard. About that. Have a good one, Gerard. See you later. Hengo says, also doctors, pilots, etc. All professions take years of training. We want to do it in 3 months. LMAO. I would say that most people don't even want to do any training. They just want to make money trading. Like they don't actually, like most quote unquote traders or crypto investors, but that are leverage trading every day on the 5-minute chart, are they're not doing anything equivalent to getting going to medical school or getting a pilot's license. Like they're not taking any kind of intentional approach to learning how to trade. They're just doing stuff on the chart that is certain to lose them money over any extended period of time. I mean, I think somebody taking 3 months of like, I'm gonna treat this like, you know, a PhD level endeavor here, could learn a lot. I mean, you can learn a lot in 3 months. I'm not necessarily saying the average person, but if somebody just wanted to be super intentional, like I'm going to treat it like I'm gonna trying to become a doctor. Yeah, someone says they're trying to fly a plane without any training. I mean, that really is what it is. It's like you want to be a musician, and your thought is, I'm going to grab a guitar and just go up, like run up on stage at a Coldplay concert and start playing. But it's like, but you've never played guitar before. It's like, I know, but I just feel like I want to play, you know, a big show. And then are really like shocked when they just don't know what they're doing and make a fool of themselves, or they hop into a cockpit and start trying to fly a plane because they want to be a pilot. It's like, I know people say like, oh, well, how else are you going to learn? There's a lot of things you can learn without just taking all of your money. I mean, there's people trading millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars from day one. But they don't think they're trading, they think they're doing something else. Steven says, Lucky, what part of trading do you still find difficult today? I think the most difficult thing is just consistency, right? It's like I say this to anyone who shows like a few days ago in the Discord, maybe it was a week ago or something, somebody posted, you know, I definitely need to improve, but I've been journaling, this is my track record for the last however time it was, and it looked great. And they're like, I still need to refine things. And I said, don't worry so much about improving your results. Worry about just if you can keep doing that consistently, you'll have an amazing career as a trader. Like the hard part, like even like the consistency isn't always just a matter of it's hard to find the setups. It's just like to accept that I need to just do this consistently. Like it's not like you get complacent or lazy. You could be doing too much. You could be working too hard to try to improve your trading and just degrade your trading, right? Like just accepting this is what I'm doing and I have to do it day in and day out and day in and day out. And it's kind of a grind in that sense, right? So this guy's getting stopped out. This 12.5 million long. We don't know it's the same trader. I'm just assuming. Yeah, so George is saying, how much does a membership cost, and do you teach order book concepts there? I have order flow concepts there. But it's like, it's $190 a month, or if you buy a year, it's 3 months off. But basically, or you get 3 months free. It's all the core educational content, and then all of the slides, videos, all that stuff. And a big part of what I do is just daily updates. So I have 70,000 updates in here. I'm analyzing the market every day, explaining what I'm looking at. I think it's important to just, I think the most valuable thing you can do is explain a concept in kind of a static environment, like a video or whatever, explaining how something works, what it means, and then just demonstrate it, right? Like demonstrate live examples, because nothing looks the same, in my opinion, on a live chart as it does in hindsight, right? Like a good example, well, there's endless good examples, but we're looking at this today in the Discord. Like this, these lows look really like a nice target for Bitcoin in my view, and front running them, or for Doge, sorry, but front running them looks a little weird on the chart. But there's so many things you can find where it's just like, you find like all these like similarities, like, does it make any sense to front run these lows? Let me go back here. But it's so similar to something like this. I'm completely lost on this chart right now. Here we go. Changing the time frames. So similar to this, right? You have like a big liquidation wick, put in a low, front run the low, front run the low, front run the low, front run, and then all of a sudden you just have this really choppy, grindy uptrend into an impulse, right? But it's so, like, I'm just saying, like, because I traded some of these grinding structures, like, I traded these longs and XRP. I'm not going to go over them all again. You know, we've talked about those, but it's so much different to see it on a live chart than to be like, this is the kind of thing you're looking for, and to actually be updating the chart and saying, I'm taking a long here, this is my long trigger, this is what I'm looking for. And so anyways, the point is, I think it maybe accelerates the learning, at least give some kind of accountability to the concepts, right? Like, how do you actually utilize any of that stuff in the market? But the website link is in the description of here. There's more info there, and you can join the free Discord as well. There's lots of stuff in there. All right, guys. I think I kind of cursed us with starting a live stream here. little bit of a joke, but obviously, you know, price action looks interesting. Lots of people are trading it. Still kind of bullish order flow here. If I end the live stream, we'll probably squeeze up immediately. This kind of has a little bit of like a locally bearish look here. Like you kind of have this rounded grinding over, rounded. Maybe take some local lows. Order flow doesn't look really bearish, but there's a little local downtrend starting. See what happens taking these local lows. It'd be funny if we just nuke straight back down to entry. Somebody's probably all in long up here. Maybe Denver. I said if I end the live stream, it will go straight up, and he said end the live stream right now. Kill the live stream now. Don't let it go any lower. I mean, for me, this just isn't really. This just really isn't a do anything environment. Like, even this pullback, it's like, oh, it looks kind of scary into the New York Open. It's like, I'm not going to close my long into that. You don't know what's going to happen. You just see what's happening. Things can change and price can do anything, but I think probabilities just lean towards higher. Whether we come back down into the lows or not, we'll see, but I'm certainly willing to sit here and see what happens, maybe at these local lows if they come immediately. You know what? I'll probably do. Christian says, is it possible to analyze another coin? Appreciate it though. Yeah, so probably tomorrow I might do like a live altcoin live stream request thing. I don't really feel like analyzing anything right now too much, but so bullish divergence between this low from earlier today, which had a bullish divergence between this low. This is a CVD divergence. It's not the same as RSI or anything else. It's just saying there's relatively heavy selling into an uptrend. So limit orders are pushing price up. I think on these live streams that you know, you kind of have to be a little bit careful about the terminology you use, because it's like it applies to other things that look similar. It has nothing to do with them. This is called ExoCharts. This is not a free order flow software. It's like $50 a month or something. But some free order flow options out there. All right. Well, what do you think? We give it 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. We'll see what happens at these lows if they come. I mean, there's not really going to be anything to say. The most likely outcome is if we take the lows, we see some longs close, maybe some shorts open, we get some kind of reaction and range more. Or maybe see a little lower, maybe see a little higher. Doge. Little double rejection, double bounce off the local GP, double rejection off the local GP, double top, double bottom. Who's gonna win? Higher time frames, breaking out with a retest, tag some 4-hour lows, a little bit of a rangy look forming here, maybe higher, maybe lower. I'm playing Doge for a potential breakout here, so a little bit of risk. I really like taking these lows, but I'm willing to accept, especially if Bitcoin's playing the bullish scenario, that this just gets bullish. And I think if for the bullish scenarios, much like Bitcoin, again, it's just a little bit of risk, and I can always trade it lower if we go lower, but all-time highs and beyond are certainly a target. Well, it's worth it for me to put on some risk there. And hopefully we get in one of those scenarios where the majority of the move comes over 8 days. We're trending, but I only put on a half-hour position down here. Just willing to poke at it. Okay, well, I'm gonna wait for this 15-minute close. Take one last look at the comments. You'll be able to watch the replay of the live stream for the person asking why do I think there's going to be a short squeeze. Don't know for sure, but it looks like there's maybe one setting up. It's amazing to think we live in a day and age where you're getting a question, Fartcoin USDT please, and it's serious. Hey, that'd be good if the majority of the move happens when you're drunk. You don't even have to do anything. Set some limit TPs, stop loss, and just whatever happens, happens. All right, he says he swears it's worth it to look at Fartcoin, just to celebrate the moment in time we are living in. We'll end the live stream by looking at Fartcoin. What's the best Fartcoin chart to look at? Where the heck do I have an alert set there? Yeah, I mean, I would just say there's no structure here. Maybe. You do know that I'm not saying Fartcoin doesn't have a bright future ahead of it, but this coin is probably going to die eventually. But just like anything can be traded, there's volatility. Breaking out to some SR levels. Row. It's probably the bearish case. One man's trend lines, another man's channel. Yeah, I don't know. You're saying it'd be worth it. Price at a really strong downtrend. No structure here. I'm not sure what you're looking at, but definitely, if you have ideas, trade them with risk management. I think I'm going to I'm going to end. Here's, I mean, this is actually, it's still interesting. Like 5 million short here. Like, you're not typically seeing this kind of aggressive shorting up at the highs. Like, and the structure's quite bullish, grindy, bullish, uptrend. I would love to be live if we can impulse, see what happens to this guy. It is interesting, order flow. It looks like something's coming, but whatever. I tried to get live during it. I sent price action sideways. I got live here, and we've gone sideways for an hour and a half, which is fine. It's kind of normal. But yeah, if I end the live stream, that's coming. And if I don't, this is coming. Let's just give it a chance here for the highs to get taken one more time. $5 million short opening right here. Aggressively, maybe get squeezed out. Maybe we can actually be live for a big squeeze. Positions cascade into one another. I kind of faked out, pump faked people watching earlier. I said, I'm getting off in 2 minutes. The charts heard me. They said, oh, you're staying live? Back into the range. All right. I don't know if Shkreli got away with all the shorts. he did stop posting about them, or some of them, after that rally. Or actually, I don't know. I didn't check. I checked a few days ago if he'd posted anything. I was gonna retweet it, but. And I didn't look at every chart that he was short. I mean, he was ahead, but it looked like he was just adding to his shorts as price went lower and lower, and then there was quite a squeeze on Trump, right? And that was one of his bigger short positions, and he had been adding, so I'm not sure. Maybe he came out okay, but I think he would have tweeted that, but I don't follow him close enough. I know he probably, I see he does live streams, but I have never watched one. It's just kind of memeing. Like, it's not really so serious. Like, trying to call it the Shkreli special and squeeze him out. It's just something to say on Twitter. He's live right now. Does he think there's going to be a short squeeze? Or is he short? Oh. You can see I'm trying to delay the exit here, because I really do think there's a decent chance we get a short squeeze here. A decent chance. How about this? I'm gonna go take a leak, and if we haven't squeezed by then, I'll just end the live stream. I'll be back in a few minutes. All right. Well, I've cursed us. There's a 4-hour candle closing. It is looking a little locally toppy. Can't blame people for selling into this. But it's being held up pretty nicely against some aggressive selling. Another short opening there. 2.6 million at the lows of this wick. Got some aggressive shorts in here. This guy's sad. He's saying, no, go down. I'm already long. To the person asking where I'd be looking for longs. I mean, it's not so unreasonable just to long here. You might get stopped out. You're just basically saying, like, maybe this carries. And if this rejects, you might just cut and look for something else. If it carries, you just hold. Big bullish divergences into a grindy uptrend. But carrying longs is kind of the same thing. You're just carrying the risk higher. This guy just feels like as soon as I open the short, price just immediately goes straight up. Oh, got a long closing. 2 million. Some aggressive selling up here for sure. We're so close. We're so close. Maybe a little 4-hour wick under the lows. 4-hour candle wick. Oh, short's kind of closing here into the 4-hour candle. I think there's a lot of scenarios where you're getting run out on this trade, but you might catch a squeeze. I still think I mentioned earlier, it would be interesting if we could come and run these lows depending on what order flow looks like, but it look kind of nasty on a 4-hour candle. It's a big bearish engulfing 4-hour candle. Take all these lows. Be an interesting local idea. TP into these highs. But order flow doesn't look like we're going to get it. All right, this could be it. But yeah, the reason I'm live is I think there's some possibility. Let's even call it 10-15% that we have like a god candle type short squeeze, and that'll be interesting to watch. Just look, yeah, it just has the look to it. On we have really bullish Elliott wave ideas here. Order flow is really bullish. We have this grindy uptrend, breakout, levels reclaiming. Like it just looks like this wants to happen. Kind of everyone is doing, all the aggressive traders are doing all the right thing for this. They're doing the wrong thing for the squeeze. They're shorting and selling into this. Just grinding up. You really don't know though, like so much can happen just above us, just above this high, But there's so many scenarios where it's just like short stops piling into each other, longs opening. You just get a lot of volatility up towards these highs. But price likes to range, as we've seen. Should probably bait in more shorts, stop out some longs. I mean, price still in a range, the higher time frames, but this is a pretty bullish looking structure. But I feel like I've overstayed my welcome here on the live stream. Sorry if the audio's been lower. Not sure why. It's our live stream PA. All right. I tried, guys. I tried. I'm gonna end it. By the way, there's no certainty. I'm carrying along from lower. Price could nuke, right? Anything can happen. We could break down. We could be trading much lower an hour from now. Just no denying we're in a bullish uptrend, breaking out of some resistance, absorption in the order flow. Uh, okay, so I guess my volume's really low. I mean, maybe I'm a little far from my mic. All right, we gotta let this play out. We just gotta let it play out. One last chance. One last chance to take these highs. I was so close to taking this long on XRP. Probably not coming if Bitcoin breaks out. Little local low here. Might be a scalpable idea. The funny thing is, even if we do squeeze up here, it's like could play out over hours too. So what levels above am I looking at? I'm looking at all the levels, all the horizontal levels. I mean, we're expecting shorts to be up here, some breakout longs. Like this can come. This high is obviously major idea. Probably the first major idea, right? Just come take that high right into the GP. It's all local ideas. Take some local highs. Maybe come back to the local lows. But I wouldn't mind, I mean, obviously I just wouldn't mind seeing the really aggressive squeeze. Just really don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to break out? Are we going to reject? Are we going to drop a bunch of longs? What's going to happen up there? Can kind of make some guesses, but Come get the retest. Form an uptrend. This looks about right. I mean, this looks... These major highs. Really in the bullish scenario, you're probably not seeing major retracements off of there. This would be the really volatile where you get play off all the levels. Oh, weird. So on iPhone, the audio works. On computer, you can barely hear it. This is why, you know, it's such a underrated superpower. If you're looking to trade like around some key structure, just set some alerts, mark out levels, because sitting and watching this all day, like, it's so hard to time a move. Like a live stream. I think we've caught a couple over the years where I think I maybe had to try a few times. Just any time something interesting looked like it was happening, I caught live. But this is a pretty standard outcome, which is why it's a joke. All right, guys, I'm gonna set us free. I'm gonna end the live stream just so maybe something can happen. All right, I'm just gonna go. Fare thee well. I'll be in the Discord though, probably, if something interesting happens. I'm trying to trick the charts, by the way. I'm like, I'm ending. I'm clicking the button right now. I'm doing it. Ah, damn it. I shouldn't have told it. All right.